Imagine being raised in a society with no birth control, and having children with births plagued by genetic defects due to this limited gene pool? No technology and no education? Well, welcome to the sad world of the Amish people. For most of us, the only thing we know about the Amish is they probably won't be watching this video. The Amish have a segregated life away from other Americans, referred to them as the English, because they are forbidden from using power and technology. The Amish population's choice to reject contemporary conveniences is nevertheless remarkable in today's high-tech environment. But when you look at the regulations Amish women must adhere to, it becomes clear that more than just their technology is a holdover from the past. Rules for Amish women may seem archaic to outsiders due in large part to their rigid interpretation of the Bible. For instance, women must submit to their husbands and dress in simple, nearly all-covering clothing. Of course, the strict laws in the Amish community affect people of all genders. There is no gender exclusivity in some Amish customs, such as shunning fellow community members. However, Rumspringa gives Amish teenagers a chance to experience life without these restrictions, allowing them to discover what the contemporary world has to offer. But, especially if they are women, their daily lives continue to be severely constrained. The Amish religion began in 16th century Europe, when Anabaptist leader Jacob Ammon formed his own community after his conservative beliefs created a schism in the Anabaptist faith. His teachings defined the values of the Amish religion. He literally put the in Amish. Since the religion's founding, the Amish have grown in numbers, practicing the principles of their religion in many of the same ways the founders did centuries ago. Most Amish people ended up in America, in particular as part of the Pennsylvania Dutch community. There are also Amish communities in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Iowa, Maryland, and Canada. But what do the Amish believe? They should recognize their husbands as superior to them. Amish marriage is heavily influenced by both religion and the Bible. An Amish culture typically views the wife as the husband's subordinate. The woman is required to follow the husband while they are together in public. But a woman might have more control over decisions in the privacy of her own home. The Amish don't get a license or certificate affirming their marriage. Instead, it's shown in how they present themselves. For example, the beard and bonnet situation. The Amish believe that it is a biblical command for women to cover their heads while praying. And we must always be ready to pray, therefore they wear a prayer covering all the time. They believe that a woman having her head covered is a sign that she is in submission to her husband. For unmarried girls, it's a sign of submission to her father. They believe that a woman with her head covered has extra protection. She has power on her head because of the angels, meaning she has extra protection from the angels. Even though women all wear head coverings, there are many different styles and sizes. Each church has its own rules on what type of head covering the women must wear. And many times you can tell how strict or plain a church is by the size or style of the women's head covering. That's not to say that the marriage is unofficial. The Amish have their community with their education system and set of rules. Whether it's the bishop confirming the couple's hands in marriage or a trust between the couple that affirms their relationship, each Amish community will differ in what makes it official. Teenagers are not taught where babies come from. Sex education is almost non-existent for Amish kids. Teenagers often don't receive any information about their changing bodies, the origin of infants, or the mechanics of sex. Instead, it is anticipated that Amish teenagers will discuss these issues with one another and resolve them on their own after getting married. Rarely do they get higher education. After 8th grade, formal schooling for Amish people of both sexes ends. Amish males might enhance their education by working as apprentices in shops or learning agricultural techniques on farms. Considering that they are expected to support their families, men often learn a trade. After the 8th grade, women may continue on to become teachers, but they must leave the position once they get married. Once school is out, the majority of Amish women focus primarily on home duties. Amish teens become intimate yet remain chaste through bundling. they might be prohibited from interacting physically before being married. Sex before marriage is generally prohibited by many religions, and this is also the case in the Amish and Mennonite communities. However, contemporary sects let couples to kiss while courting, and social trends in the 21st century have increased the number of premarital relationships between young people. On the other end of the social spectrum, there is a custom known as bundling, in which a couple who is courting will spend the night in the same bed but are forbidden from touching. They are bundled into bags as an alternative. Bundling is a method for developing intimacy while removing physical temptation. The ritual consists of a young couple lying side by side in bed, sometimes wrapped in extra blankets, to stave off temptation, and talking through most of the night. When couples bundle, parents trust the church's teachings to prevent them from touching one another. Bundling is not an exclusively Amish practice and has roots in the Bible, though it is fairly uncommon in the 21st century, even in Amish communities. However, modern courtship rarely involves this kind of behavior. They are required to wear a bonnet. Outsiders frequently refer to the fabric an Amish lady wears on her head as a bonnet, although it is truly a prayer covering. However, while they are outside, women often wear a bonnet on top of the covering. Anything that would inspire pride or be viewed as excessively unusual is still unacceptable, as the plain color and fabric is meant to show modesty and humility. They shouldn't cut their hair, ever, due to a strict reading of the Bible that considers it a shame for a woman to get shorn. Amish women can go their entire lives without receiving haircuts. An Amish lady, on the other hand, grows her hair long and wears it in a bun beneath her prayer hat. In a similar vein, Amish males are forbidden from shaving their beards after being married. Amish women don't wear white wedding gowns. While white wedding gowns continue to be fashionable throughout much of the world, Amish culture is a little bit different. Amish ladies frequently choose to wear shades of blue and indigo on their big day rather than presenting in virginal white. Along with making their own costumes, which are simple in style and terminate at the calf, Amish women also frequently sew the outfits for the bridesmaids, commonly referred to as newhockers. An Amish woman's wedding gown is practical, therefore she frequently wears it again, especially for church. As many Amish women are interred in their wedding gowns, they might even be worn after death. They almost certainly don't work outside the home. Gender roles continue to be strongly established in the Amish culture. The lady concentrates on managing the home and being a mother, while the husband is expected to work and earn money to support the family. It's not unusual for an Amish woman to occasionally own her own business and even serve as the main provider of income for the family. However, it is uncommon for a wife to run a business, especially if her kids are quite small. They are not allowed to work as pastors or other church officials. In the Amish community, women rarely hold positions of authority and leadership in the church. Women's responsibilities in respect to men, especially their spouses, remain very clearly defined since they adhere to the Bible's teachings to the letter. According to Amish tour guide Lester Beachy, in God's eyes, man and female have the same value. Simply put, we each have various duties to play. Certain hem lengths must be worn by them. The Amish all dress very similarly, as they are not allowed to stand out in any way. Both men and women dress modestly. That means their clothing can't be revealing or controversial in any way. They cover their heads at all times, and often don't wear shoes. As with most aspects of Amish culture, their simple attire is mostly related to their origins as a people and their faith. However, those Amish settlers decided to stay isolated from secular society and its worldly activities. That included avoiding new clothing fashions. In time, the way the Amish dressed grew increasingly different from American society, as they clung to the ways of their forefathers. There are a number of different types of garments in traditional Amish clothing. They are hand-sewn by the women in Amish communities. While certain items may be bought in local stores and the fabrics are bought, all the stitching is usually done by hand. Non-electric sewing machines are also used. Electric sewing machines are frowned upon, as the Amish don't use electrical devices. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.